Hello and welcome to the City Show. I'm your host, Dr. Tom Krieger. This week we're going to take you on a tour of Lebanon's new state-of-the-art firehouse on Broadway with our fire chief, Steve Johnson. On our last show, we previewed Let's Lebanon. A huge part of that event is the annual Rotary Pancake Breakfast, a fundraiser that helps pay for many Rotarian contributions to Lebanon throughout the year. Here to get us ready for the Pancake Breakfast is the current president of Lebanon Rotary Club, Greg Davis, and joining him is Chad Blanton of Exit Realty, and he's the chairman of this year's Pancake Breakfast, and he's also the vice president of the Rotary, or?
Chairman-elect.
Chairman-elect.
Or, I'm sorry, President-elect.
President-elect.
Yes.
That's even better. Guys, welcome to the City Show. Greg, in addition to your work with Lebanon Rotary Club, you also own a business here in town, Avid Signs Plus. Can you tell us a little bit about your business?
Sure. Avid Signs Plus, we're getting ready to turn 15 years in business here in town. We actually have outgrown 3 locations. We're in our 4th location.
Okay.
And we're a small local printing company. We print anything from business cards to billboards, basically, large signs, small signs, yard signs. We also do apparel, screen printing, and embroidery.
And did this start off as a hobby?
It did,
Yeah,
in the small corner of my garage. I had to move all my woodworking stuff out of the way to make room to print T-shirts.
You must have been pretty good at it.
No, not really.
Okay.
I bought some used equipment, and then I had to figure out how to use it.
Yeah. And now you're in your 4th location, and where's the 4th location at?
We're on 650B Columbus Avenue. That's behind the KOI Auto Parts up there.
That's a nice spot.
Yeah.
And Chad, tell us about Exit Realty. How long has your business been in Lebanon?
Yeah, so I'm in business with my parents. We own a couple of Exit Realty franchises. We opened our first location in Lebanon, kind of to Greg's point, in 2014. Wow. That's when we started here in Lebanon. And we had an office over in the Morrow area prior, so we've got the 2 locations currently.
Okay. Can you shed some light on what's going on with the real estate market right now? It's crazy. I mean, I'd sell my house, but there'd be nowhere to live.
Yeah.
I could have you build me a little shanty with some signs.
Yeah.
And probably in the long run, is this on a non-going trajectory, or what's your thought?
Yeah. So the market, like you said, very crazy right now. Yeah. It's not an easy question to answer in the short term. But this isn't a bubble that we're seeing. Yeah. None of the economic indicators show it being that. This is just the new reality of supply and demand. To kind of put it in perspective, if you look at the Lebanon area, in 2021, we averaged like 53 homes sold in the area per month. As of this morning, there's only 39 homes available on the market in the Lebanon area. Wow. So less than a month's supply. Wow. And to be a balanced market, we say it should be 6 months supply. So we should have 320 or so active listings.
I like to blame everything on the millennials, because you guys are so smart and you make me feel so stupid with computers. They held back. They're doing the rentals. Are they jumping back? Are they jumping into the market? And are they causing some of this?
So yeah,
stuff?
that's part of what we're seeing. A combination of things, but we're seeing a lot of millennials that were kind of concerned about getting into home ownership after the recession. Yeah. When they were younger and saw some of the struggles that went on there. But then they're realizing the advantages of home ownership. Okay. That combined with what we saw here during the pandemic, with more people starting to work from home. We're seeing more of a transition out of the city and into the suburbs more. And Lebanon sees that transition from both the Dayton market and the Cincinnati market. Yeah. So, I mean, it's kind of right here in the middle and a great town to be in. Yeah. So, why not come here? And that's what we've been seeing a lot of.
So what advice do you have for people who are actually looking for a home now? Hold back, jump in?
So, values, we don't see them going down. Yeah. So get in while you can. The Fed plans on taking interest rates up here through the year. Not a drastic amount, but, maybe 1% or so through the year. Now's the time to get in, but be patient. Yeah. Don't rush in and buy something that's not right. Make sure you take the time, get it right, but then be ready when that house does come on the market, because you won't have time to waste.
Yeah, well, that's some great advice. Greg, how did you get involved with the Rotary?
Good friend of mine, longtime friend, lifetime friend actually, Gary Campbell, invited me to a meeting about 8 years ago, and I walked in the room and realized I knew about half the people there already, so I thought, well, why not come and have lunch with a bunch of people I know?
You guys still meeting at the Lamb on?
We are not. During the COVID thing, we've moved up to the YMCA, to
Okay.
the event center up there.
my
It gives
goodness.
us room to spread out a little
Okay.
bit and still be able to meet.
That's a huge change.
Yes.
Yeah. Are you dug in there? Or do you plan on going back to the
Well,
Lamb, or
that's
have you outgrown the Lamb?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
We have a good membership, but there are times when we have events that it's just not a good functioning place
Okay.
for it. And we have a good relationship with the Golden Lamb. We don't have any issues there. I would love for us to go back for our tradition. You know, our club is deep rooted in this community,
really
and,
is.
and we, we're about half and half. Half of us
Yeah.
want to go back, and half of us want to, stay where we can grow the club a little more. So.
What are your numbers at now? If I remember right, are you guys the largest service club in Lebanon? I know you're up there.
Yeah, we probably are pretty
Yeah.
close. Yeah.
I'm not sure where the other clubs are at
Yeah.
from a membership perspective, but we're about 58 members
Okay.
right now.
Yeah. And how many people actually attend the meetings? Is it pretty high?
25 to 30 on a weekly
Okay.
basis,
That's-
somewhere in
that's
that range.
About 50%.
Yeah.
Why did you choose the Rotary over all these other groups?
Well, when we opened our office here in Lebanon, a lot of the community's been good to me over the years, in the real estate business. So I wanted to see what could I do to kind of give back to the community. And there's like kind of you mentioned, there's a number of great civic clubs here in Lebanon. Richard Oder had invited me to come to one of the meetings, and really what Rotary does both in the community locally and internationally, kind of spoke to me quite a bit. And so I've been a member of the Rotarian Club for 6 years or so now.
Wow, that's fantastic. And I know you're on some other organizations too, and I applaud your tireless effort, because you work so hard too, and both you guys, I mean, what you're doing. And you have a nonprofit also called Sleep in Heavenly Peace,
Yes.
which is supported by the Rotary Club.
Yes, it is.
Can you tell us about the need that organization's filling in the community, and why you started it? What
Well,
moved you?
Sleep in Heavenly Peace is actually now an international organization, but I found out about it about 2.5 years ago when I started working with a group over in Butler County. And the bottom line is that there's about 3 to 4% of the children in the United States that are sleeping either on the floor or on a bed of clothing or something of that, and just don't have a bed to sleep in. So we got involved with this group, and that's what we do, is we build beds and deliver them to kids who don't have beds to sleep in.
Oh my
Our
goodness.
motto is no kid sleeps on the floor in our town.
Yeah, fantastic. And how many beds have you built so far for the community?
Oh, well over 200 for the Warren County community in the 2 years we've been doing
Where
it.
do you do that at? You have at your shop, or?
No, we have a small warehouse that we're using here in town, mainly for storage and
Okay.
that, but most of our build days are done remotely. So we
Okay.
can take all of our truckloads of tools and bring a bunch of volunteers
Yeah.
to your business or your church group or whatever, and we'll set up in your parking lot. You bring volunteers as well, and
Yeah.
we'll utilize anywhere from 30 to 40 volunteers in a morning and build 20 to 30 beds.
Wow. And are you in need of more volunteers?
We can always use volunteers. We have through our website, shpbeds.org. You can follow us there and sign up at any of our events and just show up. It's open to the public. We've built 200 and some beds, but we've utilized over 700 volunteers in Warren County doing it. So
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
And if people want to find out about that, they can pop by Avid Signs.
Well, of course.
And see out there.
Yeah, we're always willing to talk. Also, we have our website, shpbeds.org.
Good.
Like I said,
Yeah.
you can follow us there. We're also all over Facebook here in the Lebanon area as well.
Wow, that's important. For me as a youngster, I had 3 siblings. I slept in a cot. I don't tear up on me now, okay? Until I was 8 years old. I didn't get my first bed,
Yeah.
and it was important.
Yeah.
Having a place that was yours.
Absolutely. And a lot of the families we're finding are humble.
Yeah.
They're not willing, I guess not willing to admit that they're not able to provide a bed
Yeah.
for their kid. And, our theory is, well, let us bring you a bed. And our beds they're completely assembled, they're handmade, includes a mattress, bedding, sheets, pillowcase, bed, everything that the kid needs. And, let the family focus on providing food and other needs for the rest of the family.
And I'll tell you what, our community is so amazing. Yeah, thank you for what you do.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
you.
Hey, let's get back to the Rotary. What other events and charitable projects does a Rotary participate in here in Lebanon?
We have obviously the pancake breakfast, starting earlier in the year, then going kind of chronologically. Then starting in the summer, we do a concert series over here at the Bicentennial Park.
Okay.
So with, I think about 10 or 12 weeks in a row, we'll have is it Thursday nights? Yeah, Thursday nights we have local bands come in, and that's free to the public. Come out and bring your lawn chair and your cooler if you want to, and sit in the park and enjoy music. And we provide that to the community, and we also have.
You don't charge for those concerts, that's all.
Well, we like to take donations.
Okay.
We'll twist your arm a little bit
Yeah.
if you open your wallet,
Good.
or grab the. I like to say is grab your neighbor's wallet and give like you've never given before.
Could do that, especially if you're my neighbor.
Yeah, and then we do. Let's see, we have the pancake breakfast, and then we have.
Country Music
The
Festival.
Country Music Festival in June that we put on as a partnership with the Main Street Lebanon organization, and that's one of our biggest fundraisers. We last year we opened that up as a 2-day event. We started on Friday night, and I'm sure we're going to do that again because Friday night we had ordered extra beer for the whole weekend, and we sold out completely on Friday night. So they had to panic a little bit and have another truckload of beer brought in to be able to fill the needs for Saturday. So that's become one of our more popular events. And then later in the fall, we do a fundraiser. We do a fall decoration sale.
Okay.
So you can order a full set of pumpkins and gourds and straw bales and corn shocks, and we'll deliver those right to your house. So you don't have to go to 5 or 6 different locations to
Nice.
try to find them, and then figure out how to clean your car
Yeah.
before winter gets here. So we'll deliver those and set them up at your house
And
for
the
you.
money's going to a good cause.
Absolutely.
Yes. Speaking of money, this is a fundraiser, this pancake
It
breakfast.
is, yes.
And the date on that again is?
March 5th.
Okay.
It's in partnership with the Let's Lebanon event.
Okay.
We're going to have that up at the high school during the Let's Lebanon event, which starts at 8:30. Our pancake breakfast starts at 8 a.m.
Okay.
and run till noon.
You got the entertainment with the flying flapjacks. Chad, are you going to fly some jacks yourself too? Or?
I'd like to throw some pancakes occasionally, but no, I think we'll leave it to the professionals this go around. Chris Cakes, who we've used the last couple of years.
Okay.
And they also do some other pancake breakfast events here in the area as well. They'll be the ones throwing the pancakes around for us.
Okay.
And then the rest of our Rotarian club will be there helping assist with some serving.
Helping with the serving and stuff.
Yeah,
That's
helping
good.
with some of the serving. And
Anything else on the menu besides the jacks?
well, you got to have at least some sausage to
yeah,
go
I
with
would think.
pancakes, don't you?
Got to get some fat on there with
Yeah,
that sugar.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. So we'll have coffee and juice and some water, and then of course the sausages to go with the pancakes.
Where do you get the pancake batter? That wasn't my question, but
Well,
That's top secret. Isn't it?
yeah.
is it a special Rotarian pancake formula?
Let's say it has been in the past.
Oh my goodness! Okay, there's some secrecy there. That's good. And how much does the breakfast cost?
So it's $7 for adults,
Okay.
$4 for children.
And how do we get tickets in advance?
So you can stop any one of the Rotarians that you know. Come find Greg. Come
Yeah.
find me.
Okay.
I've got a box full of tickets. Come find us and we can sell you some tickets.
And tickets available at the door too?
Yep. You can just show up at the time that you're ready for some pancakes. And
Do they run out of batter, or do you have like a truck of batter? One of those
We
big
haven't yet.
industrial trucks?
We do come prepared.
That would be a crisis. Forget about the pandemic. We're out of batter.
Yeah.
You know?
I would love to have that problem, to tell you the
yeah,
truth.
that would be great. But so that doesn't happen typically.
No,
you don't
no,
run
it
out.
hasn't happened so far that I'm
Okay.
aware of.
And when and where does the Rotary Club meet again? The YMCA. And what day is it?
Thursdays at noon.
Thursdays at noon.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not a member, do you have to have a member bring you as a guest, or can you just show up?
Well, we'd like to have a member support you or a
Sponsor.
sponsor, yes. But if you're interested in coming, you want to see what Rotary's all about, give one of us a call. You can actually contact us on our website as well. Just let us know you're coming so that we can welcome you with open arms.
Great group of people at the Rotary Club. If you're looking for an organization to get involved in, you guys are top notch. I really appreciate what you guys do for our community. Is there anything else? Did I miss anything?
I will say that our club in the fall of 2020 did celebrate 100 years as a Rotary Club here in Lebanon.
That's a good one. That's a long time. Well, guys, thank you so much. We'll return, and we'll be at Station 41 on Broadway with Chief Steve Johnson. So sit tight. We'll be back.
Break your fast food habit at Kelly's Meats and Deli at 1001 West Main Street in Lebanon. Stop in for a quick lunch featuring made-to-order sandwiches, tasty sides, and mouth-watering daily specials. For dinner, Kelly's offers fresh-cut steaks, chops, and seafood, plus a variety of prepared dishes that only need to be reheated. You'll also find a large selection of high-quality wine and beer that can make any meal a special event. Kelly's Meats and Deli open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Tuesday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Saturday, now open for dinner Saturdays 6 to 9 p.m. And remember, we cater too.
Since 1954, Hardee's Interiors has been providing quality furnishings for homes in and around Lebanon, Ohio. Today, you'll still find quality antique and vintage furniture along with new made-in-America furniture of all styles. At Hardee's, you can create a mix of furniture and accessories that truly reflects your personality, all made to last a lifetime. Designers are welcome and so are you. Hardee's Interiors at 208.5 Wright Avenue or online at hardeesinteriors.com.
When it comes to healthcare, the most common question I get is, are you on our insurance? Well, we're probably not because we don't accept insurance, but our prices are extremely fair and you're going to get great care. So if your plan is to get great care, we are your plan. We offer chiropractic, fitness programs, massage, and clinical nutrition. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, call our office, schedule for a free consultation so we can discuss any question you have and get you well.
Call now to schedule your free initial consultation.
All right, we're back. We're down at the new firehouse. If you've been driving by here, seen this building going up, it's done, and it's spectacular. And I'm with Chief Steve Johnson, Chief Steve, and he's going to make us familiar with this beautiful place. This is a lecture facility.
Yeah, it's a training facility. It's about 1,000 square foot in here. Something we never had before.
Yeah.
Like I've been telling a lot of people, I've said many times, a lot of people say you don't know what you had till you lost it. Yeah. This is a case where we didn't know what we didn't have until we got it. Yeah. So the fact that we have this facility now and we don't have to beg, borrow, or try to find a place to put these trainings at, we have the facility now. Just yesterday we brought in a deputy chief from Charleston talking about a tragedy that they had there a few years ago. We were able to host it. We didn't have to look around. We didn't have to find a facility. We were able to bring them in, schedule them. And obviously we've got it's still a work in progress a little bit here. We're still getting our AV stuff up and running, but it was great. We had a great, the G3 church came in and provided food for everybody. And it was a wonderful, he was here for about 8 hours yesterday, and it was just a great experience for everybody here. So it's one of those things that now that we have it, we're just so thrilled and excited to have this. And it's one of my favorite rooms in the building because now it's able to up our training for our people and really just take us to the next level from a training standpoint.
This has been an interesting journey for you.
Oh, yes.
And you shared a story that touched my heart of Amy Brewer, our old mayor and
Right.
dear friend, and she saw the standards that you guys were in at the old place, and it brought her to tears.
Right. The old place was a converted laundromat. It was
Yeah.
built in 1955 as a laundromat. The former chief, Mike Hannigan, brought it in, and in 1985 they converted it to a firehouse.
Okay.
At that time, the fire department was strictly volunteer, was 100% volunteer, and they weren't quite as busy as we are now. So it served them very well.
Yeah.
But it was never intended to be an occupied 24-hour firehouse. The volunteers would come in from home, they would take the trucks, they would respond on the calls, take care of whatever needed to be taken care of, and then they would back the trucks in and they would go home. Yeah. Run up to the early 90s or the early 2000s, and now all of a sudden we're making about 3,500 runs a year, so we're about 3 or 4 times busier than what they were back then. And now we've got people sleeping in the stations 24/7. So there were no accommodations for bunk rooms, things like that. So it just was never intended to be used for that purpose. So we had outlived its usefulness, and we were doing some things that were definitely not accommodating. We just didn't have the space. We didn't have office space. We didn't have training space. The bunk rooms we won't even talk about the bunk
I
rooms
imagine
at
the
this point.
scheduling for you has got to be so much better. You
Yeah,
mentioned that.
absolutely, absolutely.
One of your guys earlier, you went in a room and you said how he was doing, and he said, "Living the dream."
Living the dream, living the
and
dream.
that's
So-
a statement people say, and there's no meaning behind it. But you guys are really living a dream.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So especially a lot of guys were here for the old stations, and it was nothing against the city or anything like that. It was just we had used the usefulness of it. And when Mr. Bronca came on board, we started this process of building the station. And like I said, the council came down that day. They saw our facilities, and fortunately, our council doesn't have the need to come down to the firehouse very often. So when they did, they came down, they toured the building, and they saw the conditions we were living in, and it just became a mission of the council
That's
and
nice.
the city manager to get us into this facility. So we started the long process back in 2018, early 2018. We started this process that brought us here today. So
I'm of the belief that you got to take care of the people who are going to potentially save your life.
absolutely,
So
absolutely.
I'm grateful. Hey, speaking of living situations, let's check out their living quarters. No more double bunks.
No more double
You're going to
bunk.
love this.
Yep.
Let's check it out. All right, so we're going to check out the living quarters. Put this in perspective. How many beds did you have at the other firehouse?
We had two different rooms upstairs, and they were just what we call common bunk rooms. There's a lot of debate in the fire service now of the common bunk room versus individual bunk rooms, and the camaraderie being built, stuff like that. That was a conscious decision that we made. We were going to go with a common open bunk room, but with snoring and with males and females working together, things like that, just the determination was made that the individual bunk rooms, we have a lot of younger people that are still studying in paramedic school and different things like that. So it gives them the opportunity to put a desk in the room, and they can get away and they can.
So it looks like an elite college dorm,
Yeah,
single
that's exactly
room.
what it is. Exactly.
Versus the other place sounded like a jail.
It was kind of an all big
yeah.
open room. Yeah, absolutely.
So in the other place, you had how many people in a room? 3, 4?
We had 3 or 4
Okay.
per room. So yeah, and then the lieutenant was downstairs, and then we moved the battalion up there as well. So we had upwards of 8 people in that
Now
building.
the lockers in the room are kind of unique, and was this your idea in that they open in the room, but then they also open outside.
Yeah,
so
it was
if the guys want to get in, if someone else is sleeping in there,
Right, yeah. Mr. Brunk and I made some trips around to different fire stations, different departments that had just built new stations. And this was an idea that I actually, we'll say I borrowed or procured from Kettering Fire Department. And the idea is if you come in the middle of the night, you're working an overtime shift, maybe going to the other station or whatever, you come in the morning and your room's occupied, you can actually get to your personal belongings, get to your uniform and things like that without having to go into the room and wake the person up. So yeah, I thought it was a good idea, and it's just a little luxury item that we added. But yeah, I'd like to claim it, but no, I stole it from Kettering Fire
tell you what,
Department.
if I were a fireman, I'd look at this as something that I'd want to.
It is.
This would draw me.
Right. It is.
Yeah.
It is an
Single
idea
room,
to go into and have to wake them up to get your stuff
Yeah.
out is not a good.
Okay.
So it is. It's a nice little luxury that we have. But yeah, having your individual room, and if you need to study or whatever, you just need to get away. But yeah, so you have to balance that between keeping that camaraderie going versus the person that's always disappearing. And so that's
It's a juggling act.
yeah, absolutely. It's kind of up to the lieutenants to kind of, and the kitchen table, that's where all the world's problems are solved at the kitchen table. So you want to make sure that you have that inclusion and you keep the guys involved and stuff like that. But if they need to study, they need to get away, or they're not, maybe just they're tired, they're feeling,
retreat.
they can retreat, absolutely.
Hey,
So,
speaking of kitchen tables, the kitchen table here is amazing
phenomenal.
compared to what you used to have.
Absolutely.
Let's go check out the living quarters, or
Absolutely.
rather where you guys really eat
Right,
and,
right.
and relax.
absolutely.
Well, we're in the living area.
Yep,
and
absolutely.
Chief, this is spectacular.
This is where it all happens. This is where the
Tell us a little bit of the history of that table.
Okay, well, the table was we were actually in the process of looking for furniture, and we had the idea when the original farmhouse that was on the property, we actually bought 6 acres here from the county, from the old fairgrounds property, and what used to be it must have been the original farmhouse for the property. We had to tear it down, but we were able to get in and salvage some of the stuff out of the old house before we tore it down. So the wood from the table, and there's a beam across the bottom that you can't really see, but all that was wood that came from the original farmhouse. That we hired an individual to custom build the table for us.
Yeah.
And what was interesting, and it's beautiful, obviously it's very heavy. We kept some of the history of the property in the building of the table, But what was actually really nice is we got this incredible table at about half the cost of what it would have cost us to buy one commercially at that same size. So,
And the builder, his father was a fireman here or somewhere else?
he was a part-time fireman
Yeah,
here.
okay.
I've known
Yeah.
it was Andy Gerspacher,
Wow.
and his father was a part-time fireman here,
Yeah.
full-time up at Clear Creek, and he's got several family members there in the fire service, either in Kettering or at Clear Creek and stuff like that. And like I said, his father did work here, but he has nothing to do with the fire service other than his family members. But yeah, I knew Andy from years. I probably knew his dad before Andy was born. And we called Andy, and he took on the project, said he'd be glad to do it. And obviously just beautiful, beautiful work.
That is
and,
spectacular.
Yeah.
A little more room than the old place?
A little bit more. Yeah, you could sit around, and I don't know, members that aren't in the fire service don't understand, but the firehouse table is where all the world's problems are solved. If you give any problem, if the UN came here, we would solve all the world's problems at this firehouse.
That
at
in the kitchen itself, where you're cooking, and firemen, they got a reputation of having to know how to cook because they're cooking for the rest of the family.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, it's absolutely. And if you mess up a meal,
Yeah.
they're relentless. You will never hear the end of it. So yeah.
You said earlier they got to have at least one
Gotta-
good dish from
we tell
Mama.
everybody, we tell everybody to come in, especially when you're younger and you're coming in the firehouse for the first time. I said, make sure that your mom or dad teaches you. You come in with one good meal, one signature meal that you can create, because when it's your turn, you don't want to mess it up. And if you show up with a pan of Stouffer's or something pre-made out of the oven,
no way.
it's relentless.
We're not having that.
You're gonna get brutalized, and it'll be rough. So you'll leave needing counseling. There's no doubt. So.
Well, you got 3 shifts here, 8 guys and gals on each shift.
Yeah, there's 12 total, but at this
Okay.
station, there's 8. There's 8 on a given day.
So you got a need for 3
Three
refrigerators.
refrigerators,
right?
absolutely, yeah,
That's-
absolutely. And I don't know, one of them has a lock on it, but yeah, the thievery, and you check out the other refrigerators and see what they got. So
And I noticed your stove, it's the old school gas, which is awesome. Was that your decision too?
yeah, absolutely, yeah. It's just and actually the former administrative assistant Shannon Dye, who's now teaching at the Career Center, she was our cook too. She was our fire. We would have chiefs meetings and things like that. She would take it upon herself. We didn't cater it out. She actually would cook for the entire group. But that was a big thing she wanted, because when we started this station, there was no intention for her to leave at that point. So she insisted on having a big stove that she could actually get in there and cook and make these big elaborate meals and stuff like that. When we have the chiefs meeting, she would cook for like 50 people. So she insisted on having a nice big. It's a residential, but it's almost a commercial grade stove. So yeah, it's really nice.
With all the programs we have at the Career Center with the fire department, they should come up with the cooking department and bring them here once a week and cook for you guys.
I think that's a great idea.
It'd be a good experience for them.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And you guys would probably be willing to make yourself available for that.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Hey, you got a nice little relaxing area here.
Yeah.
For TV, Super Bowl parties, what have you. I mean, this is amazing.
Yeah, like we said, the guys are here for 24 hours.
Yeah.
They work what we call a 24/48. So they're here for 24 hours, and then they go home for 2 days. So and then we bring in another shift. So they're actually here for 24 hours. So we have laundry facilities. We have obviously the bunk rooms that we showed.
Yeah.
They have to eat 3 meals here a day. We've got the workout facilities, which I think we'll look at here in a little bit. But yeah, you're here. You are literally a family. You spend a third of your life here. So part of that does entail, a lot of people look at the recliners and say, why do they need that? But they're literally here for 24 hours. The shift that came on this morning will go home tomorrow morning. So
This might look kind of bad in that these guys have a beautiful room, this beautiful kitchen, laying around. You guys are just lounging around all day long. Not true. They got a great workout facility and a training facility too. That's amazing. Let's go check out where the fire people stay in shape. Oh my! Once again, this is incredible, but man, this is beyond incredible because this is fitness. This excites me. Now you elected to go with the CrossFit format, which is awesome because it's all functional training.
Right, absolutely.
And that's what you guys do. You have someone helping you with that?
Yeah, we've been doing CrossFit. We started with Superfly years ago, and it's carried on now with one of our police officers, Dan Fry, and his wife Sheena. They work with the city, and actually this is the support for this program comes from the top of the city, and we're very involved in CrossFit. The shifts are almost doing CrossFit almost every shift now. And we designed this around the CrossFit mentality. a lot of what we did here. And you see the open space in the middle. We've got some further aerobic, some treadmills and some things like that that are in another room. Purposefully, the lieutenant that I have in charge of this specifically requested that so he could leave this area open so the CrossFit guys can come in here and actually do it here at the station. So I think Dan and Sheena are going to start at least some of the time coming here and actually teaching, so the guys won't even have to leave the building to do it here.
Awesome.
So that was kind of our thinking in the whole process.
Convenience for you guys.
Absolutely.
Because you're here for a 24-hour shift.
Absolutely.
So to have it here, it's
And
fantastic.
the thing I told the lieutenant is, whatever it took, I mean, this comes from the top. I mean, Mr. Bronca supports physical fitness, wellness, all this. He's very supportive of it in the city, and a lot of what we do in the city, wellness is exemplified here as well. But I told Lieutenant Trapp, I said, you know, this is a top priority, this room and getting the guys in here to use it. So I said, whatever you need to do to encourage the guys to get there, I said, I want you to own this building. If you want to add things, I said, if you want 14 speakers in here to shake the walls, to get the guys in here, whatever it takes to get the guys in here, I'm 100% supportive of it. And I said, I know Mr. Brunk is as well. So whatever it takes to get the guys in here and get them motivated. And I'll tell you, whatever he's done has worked, because they were in here this morning at 7 o'clock. I mean, it's kind of interesting because the sound must travel somehow into my office, because the other day I was in there at like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, and the walls of my office were kind of shaking a little bit. So I came back here and I was like, but I came back here and it wasn't that loud in here, but we've got the one speaker back here, but somehow it just travels. But the idea was like 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning, the music's already going in here, and the guys are in here pretty much around the clock. They're in here working out all the time. Guys are coming in off duty. They're working out before they go home in the morning, so stuff like that. So, and the speaker we had yesterday, it was interesting because he's a big fitness guy too, and he worked out at the hotel wherever he was staying, and he came in here in the morning and he saw this, and he was like, man, I would have just come here, because he said, I was trying to make it up at the hotel.
Wow.
And he said, man, he says, this is unbelievable when he came in here. So, yeah, Donnie's done a great job with this and with the support of the city, and I think it's going to serve us well into the future.
Fitness is part of the culture.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
I look at firefighters as high school and college athletes, and now they're looking for a career.
Absolutely, absolutely.
and
A lot of military.
Oh, I bet.
Military guys come in
Yeah.
and come into the fire service afterwards. So yeah, it's just a continuation of what they've been doing.
That could
So,
be a phrase, firefighting fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because what you guys do, running up the towers, bringing bodies out to rescue people, you can't be out of shape.
Absolutely.
You don't get
Absolutely.
a second chance on
Yeah,
that.
we talked, a lot of the class that we did yesterday was talking about the air packs and,
Yeah.
and the longevity of the air that you have in there. And it can vary anywhere from literally 3 to 4 minutes up to 45 minutes. And he did a big presentation on the different levels, and it's directly.
So are you
stress
guys
and
training with oxygen
Yes, sometimes we do.
deprivation and
Absolutely.
things like that?
You'll see guys in here, they'll actually
Nice.
put their gear on,
Yeah.
and they'll wear their gear on the bikes and things like that. So yeah, that's a big thing, is a lot of guys, they'll be on the treadmills with the air packs on, just getting used to the weight and actually, like you said, playing how they work. You know?
I'm smiling because I'm thinking about what you guys must have. I'm getting this idea of an old broken down Weeder bench press, with the sand filled.
Oh, wow, absolutely.
No, because I've been
Absolutely.
in some of the old
Absolutely.
firehouses. It's like, you're kidding.
Absolutely.
This is it?
A lot of places that don't have the support
Yeah.
of the financial or otherwise, they bring in the stuff themselves. They do whatever they have to do.
Wow.
So yeah, the support's been incredible. Like I said, this is, from the city standpoint, this is a top priority. And the police department, we had the gym we built at the other place. The police department, we've opened this up to anybody in the city. Police department, we've told the police officers to, before or after duty, whatever, we'll give them a code to get in. They're welcome. They're welcome here anytime.
Yeah.
And anybody else in the city that would want to use it is more than welcome to come here and use it. So
Now, you got another place here that's the center of attention from the outside, the tower.
the tower.
But it's also another training area.
Absolutely.
Let's go check that out.
Yep.
Well, this in a lot of ways is the focal point of the firehouse, because when you come into town,
Right.
north Broadway, that's what you see.
It's kind of the welcome.
Wow.
Welcome to Lebanon
Yeah.
from the north. Absolutely.
But they wouldn't expect to see a training facility in here.
Right. It's a
Okay?
tower, and it was kind of modeled after the downtown area.
Yeah.
And we originally had talked about maybe putting a clock tower similar to what the city
Yeah.
building has. But that was kind of mechanical issues and things like that. So it was just easier to not do the clock tower. But we wanted to kind of incorporate as you're coming into downtown and make the firehouse look like downtown. You
Yeah.
see the light fixtures around the outside and everything are slated that way, following the same model of what we use downtown. But the tower itself is modeled after the city building and after the clock tower that's there, but it also served a lot more purposes than that. And one of those is the training facility.
Okay.
See behind you over here, there's a sprinkler trainer, there's the stairwells, there's the standpipe connection, there's forcible entry doors over here. The window at the top of the tower is actually accessible, which normally wouldn't be, but we built that so that window does open, so the ladder truck and things like that, they can practice rescues and things like that actually using the ladder truck. They can ladder the building and still access the building without, damaging or doing something like that. So yeah, there was a lot of thought into the training of the station. It is very purposeful, it's not just a pretty thing. It was intended with a lot of training facilities in mind.
So in the life of a firefighter, how many times a month are they doing training in this stairwell?
Every day.
Every day.
Maybe not in this stairwell in particular, but we have several other training facility or
Wow.
options that we put into the station
Yeah.
as well. Before we moved up here, just to throw ladders was a chore, just because you needed to find some place to throw the ladders. And unfortunately, if you're not built for that, like a house or a business or something like that, you start throwing ladders and doing that stuff, you'll damage them. You'll mar them up, you damage them, you'll dent them, break, gutters and things like that. Just weren't intended for that. So we put the trainers in here with the windows. We built protective things for the building itself.
You're not wrecking those windows. Yeah,
No,
those are
no,
steel
definitely
enforced.
not. Definitely
Yeah.
not. So, and they've got anchor points so we can do firefighter bailout training, stuff like that. So a lot of thought went into that, where the guys can come out and train, and it's not a big deal. It's not a big setup. They can just come out and hey, let's go throw ladders. Or you can theoretically, because of the safety features we built in, if you want to, you can come out and throw ladders by yourself. If you just want to come out and do some training or brush up on some of your skill sets, you can do that without damaging the building. And it's not a big production where you have to get everybody involved and you have to go find somewhere and ask permission and do things like that. So a lot of that thought went into so the guys can train every day, because they do absolutely train every day.
Well,
That's something.
This is amazing. One of the most impressive things here we haven't seen yet is the bay where the trucks are.
Absolutely.
You get to see this. Well, this is the garage. This is where you keep all
This is it.
all the vehicles.
Absolutely.
How many vehicles do you normally have?
Well, here we normally run, front line we run one engine, the ladder truck you see over in the background,
Okay.
and we run 2 ambulances out here and the battalion chief. So we have 5 vehicles front line that are running out of here on any given day.
Okay.
We also have the second station where we run more apparatus out of that station. But out of this station alone, we'll run the vehicles, so the 5 vehicles.
Right, ready for some sticker shock on purchasing a vehicle? How much would it cost me to get in that ladder truck today?
Today, about $1.2 million for that truck right there. So unfortunately, it's necessary. We have to have it. But that truck will also last 25 years. We bought that one in 2016. It replaced a 1992 ladder truck, and we bought that one in 2016. So, they do last a long time.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry, the ladder truck was a 2000. So, so it lasted quite a long time. So, but this is slated to run at least 25 years.
And I noticed the doors open differently. It looks like that's going to be a quicker exit, and nothing's going to break down if you got to get out.
It does. It doesn't break down. They open really easily, even without power. We
Yeah.
can shut them off. We can open pretty easily. There's no springs, no garage door openers. But what's nice about these is, not saying that we have an issue, but in the fire service there is an issue with hitting doors.
Yeah.
And like especially with the ladder truck, that ladder extends over top. So when the doors go up, unless you purposely happen to look out, because the doors have been known to stop for unknown reasons halfway up, and you'll hit them with the ladder.
That's not going to happen again.
Not going to happen again, because you're looking out, and especially they're either open or they're not. They're right in front of you. This is traditional. I've got some friends that work for like the DC Fire Department, the older New York and places like that, the older 150-year-old fire departments. They still have doors from the early 1900s that are still functioning like this. So they look very nice, but they are functional as well. So
Sometimes you millennials, old school's better.
old school is
Not
better.
always, but sometimes.
Old school.
we got to grab those when we can. 'cause
Absolutely, you got to
there's
take
not
those
too
shots
many.
when you can. Yeah.
Hey,
But no, the one comment we do get from almost everyone is they love the doors. They absolutely
awesome.
love the doors. So they are functional, but they do serve a purpose. They definitely serve a purpose, even though they are beautiful. So
Incredible. There's one last thing you got to see before we wrap this up. Follow us. Well, you may have noticed we had a little bit of technical difficulty with the audio during the tour of the fire station. The last thing that I wanted to show you was this poster of Vigo. a character from the original Ghostbusters movie. This poster was in the Silver Street Fire Station, and since Chief Johnson told his crew that he wanted them to make sure the new fire station was their own, this poster became their stamp on the wall in the common area of the new building. I thought that was classic. If you have any interest in becoming a member of Lebanon's Fire Division, they are currently recruiting part-time firefighters and EMTs to join the crew. More information is available on the city's website at LebanonOhio.gov in the Employment Opportunities tab. You can also call the administrative office for the Fire Division at 513-228-3852. You can also call that same number to schedule a group tour or get more information on activities within the Fire Division. I'd like to thank, special thanks to Chief Johnson for the time he gave us for the tour, and thanks for watching this week's program. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a look at the upcoming Girls' Night Out in March and 2 businesses who are stepping up to sponsor the event, which will feature women in construction. We'll also talk about a community book drive being conducted by MLK Lebanon. Okay, we'll see you then. Thanks for watching.